Hi, and welcome to the Grace Under Pressure podcast. My name is Sarah Willis. I'm your host, and today I am joined by my friend Jessica Buckner.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about yourself there, Miss Jessica.
Okay. Well, I'm Jessica Buckner. I've been training Brazilian jiu-jitsu for about 12 years now. I'm a black belt. I train at Precision Martial Arts in Flowood. And
yeah. I understand. Yeah, no, we met up in Flowood several years ago.
Yes.
And so you're the first black belt female I know personally. So it's great. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you and I share a little bit of a similar martial arts background in that jiu-jitsu wasn't our first art that we did. You did Taekwondo, correct?
Yes.
What was
yes, that's first.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask why Taekwondo?
Oh, that's what my parents put me in. They actually put my brother in Taekwondo, put him in it first. And then I was like, I just kind of wanted to be like him. So I was like, I want to do it. And so when I got old enough, they put me in it. And then we did it for a good part of our childhood until maybe I was like 12 or 13 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved, and then I got back into it probably around my senior year of high school.
Now, and I know that Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu, they have so much in common. So how did we make that transition over into Jiu-Jitsu?
So a part of my black belt test, actually, there was like a written portion, and like I had to know so many other predominant styles of martial arts and just like the definition. And so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was one of them. And when I went to Mississippi State, they had a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of familiar with that, not really knowing anything about it. And so I visited, and then life just got super busy, but I got back into it like the next semester. Mm-hmm. And they ended up moving that club off campus. Mm-hmm. And then they ended up making the club into an academy. And that's where I trained for most of my jiu-jitsu journey. Mm-hmm. Until about brown belt.
Okay. That's a really cool kind of journey. It's we want you to be exposed to other martial arts. Ooh, I like this one better. Bye, guys.
Yeah. I still love Taekwondo. It's just it's a little bit different training jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you know that I still love the strike. I still love striking. I trained a little bit in Muay Thai, kickboxing. Mm-hmm. I still love it. I just don't do it as much anymore.
Right. And I know that's a big difference. Just thinking about Taekwondo and the years of training, it takes to get a black belt, and the years of training it takes to get a black belt and jiu-jitsu. There's a little bit of a different degree, it seems, between the black belts of Taekwondo and the black belts of jiu-jitsu. So
yeah, definitely.
And I think, and at least down here in the South, that was really the only option I even had growing up. It was Taekwondo, or I think we had one Kung Fu school, maybe. I'm not quite sure on that though. But I know Taekwondo was the only name and only game in town as far as martial arts. So Jiu-Jitsu came in, I think, around the time I was in college too. That's when I first started hearing about it, and it was very different from what it is today. So
Yeah, I think that's when like UFC was starting to get a little bit more popularity. So yeah.
makes sense. People, you got all the meathead guys like, yeah, I can do that. Let me get in the room, you know.
Yeah.
So so we kind of see why we started jujitsu. It was part of the Taekwondo black belt test, but why stick with it? What appealed to you personally?
Uh, so the practicality, first of all, like just knowing 100% that you could apply this technique and know if it worked or it didn't work. Whereas like Taekwondo, you can spar,
Hmm.
but you're not going to be able like full contact spar with your partner every single day, um, kind of thing. And so just I think that and like the challenging aspect of it, there's just always something new to learn. And then just like the camaraderie that comes with jujitsu is also just so great. And I think that's one thing that like kept me in for sure, was
Yeah,
just the camaraderie.
yeah, it is.
Um,
It seems like jujitsu, no matter where you go, you're going to find friends. If you travel, you're going
yeah,
to have a community for sure.
yeah, that's
It's,
something I think that's super special. And I mean, I'm sure you can find that with other um, like hobbies and interests, but I don't know. I think there's something special about the jiu-jitsu community.
I think so too. I think I don't know, it's like uh, a shared bond of something that we love that's hard. And it's kind of almost like forming friendships in a family in the trenches. Because, yeah, we're going to try to kill each other, but I still like you and I want the best
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
So I know one big part of your jujitsu story and, what kind of keeps inspiring you uh, as a black belt all these years in are these camps, these jujitsu camps, specifically camps that seem to be geared just towards women. I'd love to hear you speak a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah. So the first camp I went to, I was a two-stripe white belt. And it was probably like, it was a little bit before that. There was just this really, I don't know, defining moment where I was like, I felt so defeated with jujitsu. I was, training with all these guys and like we're all learning at the same time, but it just felt like every day I was getting smashed. I was like, jiu-jitsu is supposed to work. It's supposed to be for that smaller person. I was like, it's not working. So someone told me, they were like, look up Hillary Williams. I think she was like one of the top female black belts at the time. And just, and especially kind of around our area too, because she's from like Arkansas.
Mhm.
And so I looked her up and I saw her match with like Gabby Garcia where she like throws her. And anyway, so I was like, oh wow, okay, so maybe I can do this. And then I just started like Googling like women's grappling, women's jiu-jitsu, and I came across this women's grappling camp in San Antonio. I was like, well, that's about 12 hours. I was like, I could drive that in a day. It's
Yeah.
fine. I can do it. I probably couldn't do that now. But back then I was, like still in college or whatever, coming out of college. And I was like, I can do it. So I went, fun fact, I left my gi and my belt at my house.
Oh
So
no.
I went to this jiu-jitsu camp without my stuff. I
Oh
still had like
no.
no-gi gear and stuff, but I was like, I don't have my gi or my belt.
Oh no.
But one of the hosts of the camp, she was very kind and she let me her white belt and her gi for the duration. I think it was like 3 days or something
Mhm.
like that. And it was Emily Kwok and Valerie Worthington. And if y'all don't know who they are, go Google them. They're amazing. And I just, it was just so inspiring to see them, because that was the first time I had ever seen a female black belt. That was the first time I had ever seen like a female blue belt. They're purple, you know, just all the colors. Like, oh my gosh, they do exist. And so it was just a really awesome experience. And that kind of just was like, okay, I can do this. And so then I came back to Mississippi. I was like, okay, I'm not going to quit jiu-jitsu. I'll just keep going and get some more ladies to train with. And so that was like a huge experience for me getting started. And then just over my journey, I guess, I just kept finding other camps. We actually had Emily and Valerie and Jeanette Stack come back, went to Mississippi when I was a purple belt, and we hosted them at the gym I was at, actually in Gluckstadt. And that was a great experience. And then a couple of the other camps I went to were Rachel Casillas in Tennessee and Spring Hill. She had Sophia McDermott there, who's the first female Australian black belt. And so that was awesome. Then she brought her back like a second year, and I went to that camp. And Rachel's camps are just always so great because you get a whole lot of rolls in, and it's very competition based. So it's something that I really gravitated towards. Then a couple of 2 years ago or last year, I don't know. Went to the Role Models camp in Indiana, and that was a really fun camp. They had Christina Barlan, Elizabeth Clay, Rachel was there too. And there was like, that was my first camp, I guess, that I attended as a black belt. That was really weird experience. It was fun, super cool, but still kind of weird. But it was like, there was like 12 black belts there, including myself. So that was really neat. And camps and open mats and stuff like that have always just been really great experience to train with other ladies, top female competitors, and just it always leaves me feeling more inspired and more motivated afterwards, and kind of just gives me, when I'm feeling like those ups and downs and I'm in that little down, I try and find something like that, like an open mat or cross training or something, and it always gives me a little boost. So.
Oh, sure, for sure, because it's, you see that you're not alone in a way, and that I'm not the only one feeling like this is just not working. And so I know that's something, I've only been to 1 or 2 female only camps. I've been to plenty of seminars, but there's something that is just so amazing about those female specific camps, because men and women, we roll different, you know, and how we apply pressure techniques. It's just those little techniques that another female, you know, who has been in a disadvantage, in a position that is really maybe terrifying to some women. Hey, don't panic. This is what's worked for me. Instead of a guy, not saying that guys don't want to help you improve, because of course, you know, if their coaches and their teammates, good ones, you know, I'll add, they want you to improve, but they may not have the same limitation of being, you know, 40 or 50 pounds lighter than somebody, you know, attacking them. It's like, well, you just push, you know, it's like, well, I can't just push.
Absolutely. I think there's something very unique about our experience being women in jiu-jitsu. I think just growing up a little bit different, I mean, than guys are. Like, you know, we're taught to, you know, go to the restroom together and, you know, always be aware of our surroundings when we're alone in parking lots and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm sure guys are very much aware of those situations also, but I don't think it's as top of mind sometimes.
Right.
You know, and so when we have those experiences and we're coming onto the mat, those are some things that I think guys don't always think about when they're like teaching or, you know, saying do this or do that. And it's just like we've come from a little bit different experience, life experience, I guess.
Yeah.
But understand, I mean, everybody has some different background when they come onto the mat. But I think finding like those people that, you know, might have those shared experiences. So going to like women's open mats and stuff like that, or women's camps, I think it's just like super helpful.
For sure. And I know it's something where I always try to make it to open mats that are, you know, up in Jackson with y'all.
Yeah.
Because it challenges me because, you know, trying to use essentially when I'm with just females at an open mat, I have to actually use my techniques. That's where my techniques improve. That's where I can see, okay, this is going to work on, you know, as a competitor, this is what's going to work for my division or not work for my division. Versus sometimes, you know, and I love my guy partners so much, but they outweigh me 80, some of them 100 pounds. It's like that just, you know, I love them to death. They're great guys. But, you know, if they're attacking me, I'm going to have to pull something out of my back pocket or, you know, that's not just jujitsu.
Yeah.
But so, and that's something as a black belt, you know, going through the 12 years, going from student, you know, and, you know, camp attendee who forgets her belt to black belt who teaches. What is something, how has your journey informed your teaching? You know, because again, you're the only black belt female that I know that, you know, teaches and leads seminars. So what has particularly inspired you or informed how you teach?
So I think going to these open mats and going to like cross training a lot and going to the camps and seminars and things like that, I've picked up a lot of different styles and a lot of different drills and just different techniques that I've kind of like worked into my own game. And I think that's helped me a lot be a better teacher, I guess, in a sense. I don't know. Oh, that's a tough one. Just because like I've been teaching since I was a blue belt, and I was really terrible, actually. I don't know. I felt like I was super terrible. I also didn't like public speaking. I still have like some anxiety when I teach, but I think going to cross train and just picking up how my instructors taught me and like what really stuck with me, and trying to like pass that on to the students that I'm teaching now, and just using different things. A lot of times when I'm teaching, it's more one-on-one private lessons. I do teach a couple of like ladies classes, and I teach class on Wednesday nights at Precision. But when I teach the private or do the private lessons, there's a little bit more dialogue between me and the other person, and it's like, so how were your roles this week? What what happened? Where did you feel stuck? And then I kind of sometimes go off that, or if they don't have like something specific, I'll have like a series of techniques or positions or something that I feel like after rolling with them, maybe like this is something that they can start working on and drilling. And so there's a lot of back and forth questions. And then sometimes when I'm teaching class, it's like, any questions? And they're just like, I don't know, ready to drill, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. So it's a little different, but I try and do different jiu-jitsu style warm-ups, things like that, just things that I picked up from different people. So
yeah, it's kind of, you model what you've seen. And I think that might be another huge benefit for you going to all these camps and being a part of this community, is that you get exposure to some top level teachers. And so that's probably definitely, I mean, I think I reap the benefits of it. And so especially, man, those one-on-ones, that's kind of how jujitsu originally, was taught. It was one-on-one sessions. You learn that way and then you progress. And, man, if I could get those kinds of lessons down here, that would be great, but there's just not that many opportunities down here.
Yeah. Because I mean, jiu-jitsu is different for everybody. Everybody has a different body type, style, what they, gravitate more towards. So, classes are obviously super great, and you're picking up those tools that they're showing. But it might not be until like later down the road that it really clicks for you. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, and then when you have that one-on-one, maybe you can pick that up so much quicker, ideally.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a lot of cross training. So what kind of, and I'm a big believer in cross training and lifting and all that to supplement my jiu-jitsu. So what kind of cross training do you do?
Well, back in the day, like cross training, I would just go to different gyms, different seminars that were in like the area, like Memphis or Corinth, or on the coast, just like within a day's driving distance or something, and cross train with other people, because everybody's has like a different style. But like cross training, like I will do strength and conditioning, and now for sure that's something I've kind of always done, may not have always been super consistent with, but trying to be more consistent with. At least still trying to find that balance, but getting that like at least one strength session in a week. I know that's not, definitely not enough, but kind of keeps my knees happy.
Sure, for sure.
I can definitely tell when I've stopped. I've had a couple of knee injuries, not super serious or anything.
Right. Yeah, because strengthening up those knee muscles, or not knee muscles, but the muscles around the knee. That's very important. Yes, as someone who struggles with the knees as well, I understand. But so that's one thing I wanted to ask, because you mentioned your knees. That just made me think about different ways to approach jiu-jitsu. It's an odd, jump in my mind. We'll go with it. But I know that you like to play from experience, a lot of open guard. And so is there a position that you have found you enjoy going to the most? Is that just from years of rolling, or is that you model your game after somebody? What do you look at?
I really enjoy spider guard. I'm probably not like the best at it, but when I was a blue belt, I encountered that a lot in tournaments, and I was like, what in the world is this? And someone was like, it's spider guard. And I was like, well, I need to learn that so I can figure out how to get out of it. And so I just started learning more about it. I think Sophia McDermott really had a huge like influence in my spider guard when I first went to her seminar. And then just kind of adding on to it from other people. But that's probably my favorite open guard position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I like really play that a lot in tournaments, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely my favorite. Spider guard or a variation of spider guard.
Or a variation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What about that do you like so much?
I like for in the gym that I feel like I can keep someone off of me, and I'm basically making them feel like a puppet. And I feel comfortable getting into like the triangle from that position a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's super sneaky, and I feel okay with some of this with like maybe one sweep from spider guard. I like to go to. So yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like I have control from that position.
Yeah, no, it's a good position. I find myself even trying to do a modified version of that in no-gi, which doesn't last but for 2 seconds. Yeah. But so would you say that you're a big lapel fan then, or does that, because I know obviously spider's not its sleeve, but just didn't know if that would translate.
Lapel is probably I probably don't do a whole lot with it unless I'm trying to distract the other person with it.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm a very kind of like basic. I don't venture out too much. I mean, I will, but I think learning other things like that, like I see other people play lapel and stuff, and there's some things I will try and pick up and use in my game. Like there's a little lapel half guard sweep that I really like. But I wouldn't say I'm a lapel person.
Yeah, I understand. So with spider guard, obviously that's a predominantly gi move. Is there a no-gi position that you really gravitate towards, or submission?
I would say for no-gi, if I'm playing guard, probably close guard or some kind of butterfly. Or if I'm on top, I'm really trying to just pressure and pass and get to side. And whether it's gi or no-gi, I'm probably going to try and find an armbar. I think that's what I find the most success with. I think so.
Yeah, so it's always great to see and understand why someone likes these different positions, because that certainly helps me in my game too. So I know that there's some big stuff coming up in your life really recently. I'd love to hear you talk about that. It's Girls and Gis is kind of what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have Girls and Gis coming up August 13th. It's from 1 to 4. It's at Precision Martial Arts Gluckstadt location, right in Madison, Mississippi. This is the first time that Girls and Gis will be coming to Mississippi. They've had so we're really excited about that. They've done a lot of events in Louisiana, and I've traveled down to some of those events, and they've always been super great. It'll be me and Monica Medina, who trains out of Killer Bees in Hattiesburg. And I've known Monica since I was, I guess, like a blue belt. So we go way back. So I'm super excited to see what she'll be teaching and get to see everybody. So.
Yeah. Now tell us how was that process and getting them to come here? You know, what was that like? What were the coaches in the area? You know, how did they hear about, you know, just what was that process like getting them to Mississippi, I should say?
Yeah, so just always having a bug in their ear, trying to bring girls and geese, and it just kind of happened. Like some of the academies, it just happened to work out that this one was big enough, and kind of, I guess, have grown women's jiu-jitsu in Mississippi too. So like there would be a great turnout for it. But if anybody does want to have like host a girls and geese event at their academy, all they have to do is go to the website, and I believe there's like a little form that you can fill out, or volunteer form, to kind of request it, and they talk to the academy to see if it's a good fit, kind of thing, if they really support, you know, women's jiu-jitsu, and then they just kind of fit it in.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, this is definitely one, when this episode comes out, you know, hopefully people will hear it and sign up, because this is definitely a great female only seminar. I've been to one in the past and I learned a lot and just had a great time visiting with everybody, to be honest. And so,
yeah, they're always lots of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't remember in Baton Rouge how many people there were, but we could barely fit all on the mats. It was just, I forgot how many women do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that was a great one. And then, also ladies or girls who don't do jiu-jitsu, but, you know, maybe there's guys like listening to this podcast and they want to get the lady in their life to do jiu-jitsu. This would be a great opportunity, just because it's like no pressure, just a lot of fun. You're learning jiu-jitsu. At the end, we all roll. If you don't want to roll, you don't have to. You can always watch. It's a really great beginner event. Or, you know, if you've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time, I enjoy going to them just because it's fun to roll with everybody and see everybody. Sometimes it feels like family reunion.
Yeah, no, it's for sure you get to get exposure. And I think that's just something, like you're saying, it's a good beginner event, but it's also a great, just as we've mentioned and, you know, talking this entire time, it's just a great camaraderie event too, that you end up, you may make a friend and keep that friend, and you have somewhere to go halfway across the country or halfway around the world, who knows? So
yes, absolutely.
Where can people go to sign up or look up the information?
So they can go to the Girls and Geese website, and it will be listed underneath their events, and they can register from there. I'm gonna shoot out the short little link, the bit.ly link, bit.ly/GIGMS, and that'll take you directly to the Eventbrite website where they can register. And I will say it is a $20 donation, but Girls and Geese is a nonprofit, and they do things like scholarships for girls or ladies who want to do jiu-jitsu but might not have like the financial ability. They do like tournament sponsorships and things like that also. So it's really great. Your money is going towards good cause.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And women supporting women in jiu-jitsu. It's just a wonderful, I don't see where the problem or a bad thing it could be. So this is awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show and taking the time out of your day to share your passion and love of jiu-jitsu with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, I hope to see you soon. I'll see you at the Girls and Geese event. Everybody should go out and register and come on down.
Yes, we'd love to see you. Happy there.
Yes. Well, have a great rest of your day, Jessica.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.